This daily drawing exercise is one of the statues on the St. Charles Bridge in Prague. Now, it's a bit of a different subject from what we've drawn up till now in these daily exercises, and I think the handiest way to think about this, to plot this, if we're not thinking of ourselves as figure drawers, is not to see this as a figure, but to see it as an architectural ornament, and as is the case with other architectural ornaments, to see it in terms of form, but also shape. When we look at something as form, we see it as three-dimensional. We picture whatever roundness it has. When we seek to incorporate that into our thinking and our marks. When we view it as shapes, we're really looking at it as if it's a two-dimensional thing, as if we were to get scissors and cut around the outside of whatever shape we have, and looking at that as an outline to reproduce somewhere. And sometimes it's more helpful to think of and to be drawing shape, and sometimes it's more helpful and to think of drawing form. And so I'm using both in this. I'm thinking of form, firstly, all the time. I think form is the first place we should go in our thinking, because we want to get a sense of the reality, the three dimensions. Because ultimately we want to capture, usually, the fact that this is a three-dimensional object. So we need to pay attention to the three dimensions as far as we can work it out from our reference. But sometimes when we're looking at an object such as this, it's easier and more accurate to not be looking at surfaces curving or moving away from us, because sometimes that can confuse us into thinking that those surfaces are wider or longer than they really are. Sometimes we just want to focus on what is the gap from one side of this thing we're looking at to the other. And when we think about that, then we can think about how then we reproduce that gap. In terms of the scale and reference of our drawing, what that means in terms of where we put our lines. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm looking at shapes that I can see between the folds of the fabric, because the truth is this figure is mostly fabric, mostly drapery. And so I'm looking at that and considering what I can do to replicate, what lines I can put to replicate the various shapes that are defined between the different folds. And so I'm progressing them down as a series of shapes, if you like, that are butted up one against the other. Now, of course, what I also need to do is, after I've done each shape, need to pull back in my looking and keep in touch with the overall proportions, firstly of my reference, and then of how my stacked shapes are going, the overall alignment of various parts. And here you can see me aligning from the reference back to my drawing, where this gap that we see, where a piercing that we see through the statue between the front of the figure's legs and I presume, some sort of cherub figure that's in front, maybe a small angel or something. And so, looking hard at the reference, I can work out, well, that's likely to be a foot, that sloping line there. And this is one of those dreaded points in doing a voiceover where I'm looking at my drawing again and I'm thinking, my goodness, I really made a mistake with some element of it at this point that I didn't appreciate enough at the time. And I'm thinking, I wish I could now make the lower part of the statue's body, say 5 to 10 millimeters longer. Now, maybe partly I exaggerated the draping sleeve, and that's part of the problem. There's nothing I can do about that now. So I've decided not to worry, and I can't really change that. That's one of the mistakes, that it's probably a bit hard to create some sort of optical illusion to make it less obvious. So I'm just continuing with that then, and now I'm continuing with the folds. Now, I've made the face very dark because when I started, I thought there was going to be more hatching than there really was. And that suited me because I thought, well, I don't really need to do perhaps the particular marks that would define a face. I really only have to capture the silhouette if the whole face is basically, the whole head rather, is basically in shadow. But after I'd drawn it and kind of hatched in, I thought, yeah, it's not in as much shadow as I thought. It would have been great if I could have removed some of those hatch lines in some way. But there wasn't much I could do about that. And this is a daily exercise. And this is the thing with these exercises. We really don't want to be starting again because we don't have time, and we're better off finishing the drawing and learning the things that you only learn in the second half of a drawing, regardless of how long it's taken us to draw it, whether it's 10 minutes or 3 hours. So we want to get to the end so we can do all those finishing off things and get some practice and some experience in that as part of this exercise. And of course, I haven't drawn the pedestal yet properly that the figure stands on. And while I genuinely do think that the figure is a couple of millimeters too short from the waist down, it certainly does create a bit of an optical illusion to put the figure on a taller pedestal. It will create a more elongated overall effect, which I think will count in my favour, if you like. I'm not wanting this to take too long, so I'm being now fairly rough and gestural in the depiction of the carved decoration on the side. And there is some decoration on the front, but it's so foreshortened, it really is virtually just a silhouette to put in. So I'm doing that. And again, there are some perspective angles, and even with these very slight perspective angles that are depicting the front side of the platform that the statue stands on, we do want to work to get the angle correct. It's a slight angle, but it's still an angle, and we don't want to put it too much of an angle because that will throw things out of kilter visually. So now I'm just trying to add a bit of overall hatching on this figure and a few bits in more generalized parts where there could be some shade happening. Just playing around with his outstretched hand. Not that I think it looks a great deal like an outstretched hand, but that's how it is. But you see, for me, I wouldn't be drawing this normally as a subject. I would be drawing this as part of an overall drawing of, say, the St. Charles's Bridge or some other architectural structure with full-size figures on it as statues. And therefore, this is good practice for that. This is good practice at just seeing the figures as shapes and as form and working out what marks create the effect that I'm after. Now, this took me just under 12 minutes to do in real life. So you're seeing it slightly faster time, 1 1/4 time, in fact. But I think it's a great exercise to have a go at as an exercise, particularly if it's not the sort of subject we normally draw, because it gets us focusing, therefore, on what we're seeing on our observation skills. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. Of course, you'll find this reference photo on my channel community page, and I would encourage you to have a go drawing it. It's always great trying new things, but continue through to the end so that you learn those things that you only learn at the end of a drawing. But look, whatever you draw and however you draw it, make sure you have fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.